Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Not Fancy League. I'm Rob,
And I'm Tyler.
and we are coming here recapping Week 7, previewing Week 8, halfway through our fantasy season, and things got really, really close this week. As we'll go through all the different standings and everything, but first, that's right, we do have another trade. I made another trade, this time with Team Arius. I'll throw up the full details right here. I went and got George Pickens, and he got Michael Carter. And it was pretty cool that he had Michael Carter there for about 24 hours. And then James Robinson came about and kind of ruined the whole thing. But we did interview Adrian, so we'll talk about that trade more with him. But yeah, anything, Tyler?
Yeah, we let Adrian talk about his process and how he tried to cancel it as soon as he saw the James Robinson news. And Jacob Trish, pay attention. You got a shout out for a trade proposal later on.
Yes, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I was saying that when I first looked at the trade, I immediately just started thinking what my grade is for this video, and I thought pretty handily because I thought you wanted to just because I was thinking last year I didn't think Michael Carter was really that spectacular, and I can't imagine. I mean, the team's a little better now. It is significantly better now, but still, I just think Michael Carter's not. I don't rate him that well, but I really like George Pickens. I was actually talking trades with him. Maybe ain't him, but then you got him, and then plus a third kind of evens it out. But yeah, it'd be interesting if for at least first couple of weeks, Michael Carter get the role before James Robinson gets settled in. Be interesting how that goes.
Yeah, and then just to kind of give everyone an idea of what my thought process was through this, I figured I was going to get George Pickens, who by all rankings I saw was a first-round pick in the rookie draft last year. So I traded Michael Carter and a third-round pick to get a first-round pick, pretty much. That was the way that I thought about it, and that's the way that I'm viewing it going forward.
Yeah. So now I'll go ahead and look at the standings update. And now we got a really competitive league going here. We got the top teams losing and the bottom teams winning. And on the east side, with Rock Springs Football Club 5-2 tied for the top spot with Team Arius. Other than that, and other than Team Blasi, who's just cursed, they need help. I don't know if they need a spiritual ritual or something.
Something's got to go on.
Hold the door for women more. Get some good mojo.
Maybe be a nice guy. Come on, just be a nice guy.
But other than those two, with three teams at 4-3 for that second playoff spot, really heating up.
Yeah.
And same in the West as well. Really, everything's heating up.
Yeah, because the way we were viewing it last week was that there was kind of four teams that we thought had kind of separated themselves, and that all got thrown out the window. Especially in the East, with all these teams at 4-3, anybody's got a shot at it. With Van Dorn losing this week and Adrian losing this week, the West Division's even more competitive than it was before, because you're in it now, I'm in it now, and I still don't think my dad's all the way out. I think the only team that's out at this point is Team Blasi. I think they're the only team that legitimately doesn't have a shot to make the playoffs. Unless they go on an absolute tear, but...
Be one for the ages if they make it. That'd be awesome. But yeah, head into... now we got the L's of the week. Rob, you want to kick it off with your guy?
Yeah. So my L of the week was a guy that didn't necessarily have a bad week. It was just the nature of the week that he had. And that was Darnell Mooney of Team Blasi. And I was playing Team Blasi this week. I had a lead going into Monday night. Darnell Mooney only needed to score 8 points. And he finished with just under 8 at 7.8 or something like that. If he had one more catch in the entire fourth quarter, he would have won. Team Blasi stays winless. And I scrape out going above 500. So L of the week, Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, like we were talking about. Some cursed energy. Need to change it up. But yeah, my L of the week is same Monday Night Football game, but it is the man with 2 drives only, gets booed by his home stadium and gets cheered on for the backup to come on. Mac Jones with .94 points. Tough week for him. And brutal that when the second guy, Zappe, comes in, he gets 2 free plays with Ramondre on the wheel route wide open. And then whoever the receiver is just defense broke down. He gets a wide open.
Some guy was wide open, and it just everything seemed to work out for Zappe. I don't think Jones is recovering that job. I mean, maybe he gets a couple more weird plays and maybe a couple more chances, but I think Zappe might be the starter until he messes it up. So, yeah, definitely a big L there for Mac Jones.
From the L's to the MVPs, we got the MVP of the week for me is Kenneth Walker with 2 touchdowns, one being for 74 yards. Really showed up for my team and was a real significant point of bringing home a dub for me.
Yeah, he looked really, really good, and he's still a rookie. I think he's part of what's kind of been an interesting rookie running back class with NTN and Pierce. It was Brees Hall. Like, there were some pretty good rookie running backs that we were seeing. And he might be the best. It's hard to say who was the best, but he looks really, really good. As of right now, it's his job. Penny's never stay healthy enough to take it back, so it's his job.
Yeah, definitely.
And then my MVP of the week was your MVP of the week last week. It was 2 players, Burrow and Chase, continuing to absolutely tear it up, putting up even more points than they did last week. Almost 500 yards for Burrow, more touchdowns for Chase, and they did it all in like one half. They didn't even really play the second half. So as of right now, the Bengals offense is flying about as high as they can fly. They look awesome.
Yeah, I mean Burrow in another league we were in had 30 points at halftime. It just was cruising.
Yeah.
That's why I got Chase one overall, back-to-back 30-point wins, really holding down. Because like he's outscoring with like a lot of quarterbacks, so like that's why I wanted him. And they're putting more shotguns, so keep this momentum going. Really, really glad what these two are doing right now. Heading over to some week 7 recaps.
Yeah. So we'll just start going over these games. We already touched on the game that I had this week with Aiden a little bit, but we'll just full on recap the whole thing right now. So pretty much Joe Burrow was my entire team. Mark Andrews decided to just not show up this week. I guess it was the right week for him not to show up because apparently we didn't need it. Actually, we needed his .4, which is actually kind of funny. If he didn't have that .4, we would have lost. And the fact that, it was 8.3 points for Mooney. So, like, if he just gets a tick more, you're able to get that, like, a couple more yards. You're able to get an actual win. But sitting at 0-7, things are rough right now for Team Blassie.
Yeah, I don't know, because he has a pretty young team, some old guys. Depends if he, like, tries to offload any of these guys. I don't know. He has a lot of young guys, so there's only a couple guys he could offload. Be interesting if anybody would buy him and what he'd get for him. But yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got to kind of stay pat. He's got 2 really good young running backs. He's got Hurts and Brown. He's going to be able to add the number 1 overall pick next year. So just kind of keep going in that direction. That's all you can really hope for at this point, is that things look good next year.
Yeah. And to the next game, we got the Standard dropping 120 versus a Field of Dreams with 155. Very respectable game. But, I mean, like we were touching on, Eckler, the reason why he's the number 1 running back, he drops at 36 points, which is insane. Then he gets a lot of help from his other players. But, yeah, just an overall great week for Field of Dreams with a lot of help throughout his team.
Yeah, looks really, really good. And then for the Standard, the first game for Dak Prescott, he didn't really look great. DK Metcalf goes down with an injury. T. Higgins is the only Cincinnati receiver to not catch a touchdown. And Kyle Pitts continues to look like Kyle Pitts. So things just really weren't all the way going for the Standard. And he still dropped 120 points, which isn't really a down week. He just kind of ran into Fields of Dreams, who, like you said, had Eckler. And to me, the standout was George Kittle, who finally had that George Kittle game. He was getting yards after catch. He was getting open down the field. And he actually got in the end zone. So it was a really, really good week for George Kittle. Hopefully he can build on that. And Fields of Dreams can ride that all the way into the playoffs. Who knows?
Yeah, let's see if they carry that momentum. Going to a game we already talked about a little bit with my game, Danger Witch with 161 points versus T. McManus with 124. Oh, God, that's so good dropping that many points. But like we said, Chase, Burrow connection. Kenneth Walker, like we said, got a couple MVPs on the week in your roster. And then Aaron Jones gets overshadowed but still drops 28 points. I mean, just a week that everybody came to play for the most part.
Yeah. This was probably this is by far the best week you've had. Probably one of the best weeks that the league's had up until this point. You decided not to go with any quarterbacks, to not do anything about Russ, to not go find a second quarterback. And apparently it didn't matter because your offensive utility spot outscored Lamar Jackson. Christian Kirk with 17, Lamar with 10. Lamar kind of lays an egg, and it's just not a lot of receiver help for Payne and the McManus. Waddle had that one really good game. Other than that one good game, I don't think he's had really over 20 points. Maybe one time. He's just not really super consistent. This was kind of a sort of down week for Waddle. Mahomes was good. Stevenson was good. Barkley was good. Nobody else showed up. 124 is not a bad score. It's not 161.
Not 161. Yeah, if you're going to have a down week with Lamar, it's when somebody drops 160, it's hard to come back with for trying to beat them.
Yeah, so moving on to where's DeMarco Murray versus Team Squigs. Team Squigs goes out there, drops 150 points, and where's DeMarco Murray kind of laid an egg. So for Team Squigs, what went well was everybody that wasn't Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson scored the second most points on the team with only 7. Everybody else, defense, flexes, tight ends, everybody else scored more than that. And then as for where's DeMarco Murray, Justin Herbert's pretty good. Travis Kelce's pretty good. Devontae Adams is pretty good. Somebody else has got to be good. It's going to be weird to see what McCaffrey does, and you really got to find that second receiver. I know he's holding out for Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's getting older. You got to find somebody that can be that second receiver.
Yeah, his team's rough. I think McCaffrey will be fine. Just he got traded 48 hours before he had to play a game, so nothing too crazy on that. I think he'll be fine. The Bucs look bad. Leonard Fournette, they're not rushing that well, so unless he keeps that reception up. But, yeah, Alex's team is in an interesting spot because if he's trying to he's in a playoff position, but he needs some wide receiver help, and he's got some young talent, he's got some old talent, so is he going to try to offload his future picks to get some more receiver help, or is he just going to tank and get, the best capital for the next few years?
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see what Van Doren does.
Yeah, he's definitely in a spot where he's got to make a decision, where there's some teams that got to make decisions. He's definitely one of those guys that's got to figure something out. And speaking of guys that got to make decisions, if we go into Team Arias versus the Rock Springs Football Club, it's not that the wheels are coming off for Team Arias, but they've now lost 2 games in a row. Rock Springs Football Club moves into the number 1 overall seed position, home field advantage if they meet in the championship. And Ayers doesn't look like he's going to get caught, but it's much closer than it was. Any thoughts on this game, Tom?
Yeah, it was a tough week. I mean, you didn't have Josh Allen on a bye, and the quarterback you did have has .92 points. Damian Harris looked bad. Amra had a down week. It's just a lot of players. Jimmy G was your best other than Raheem Mostert. Yeah, not a great week. I mean, this game was actually pretty low scoring for being 2 of the better teams.
It was the 2 best teams in the league, yeah.
Yeah, and the points didn't show up, but yeah, I mean, a lot of buys. It was the next couple of weeks are bye weeks, so that's probably what it was. But yeah, just heading over to some previews. But before that, got the egg bet preview. I went 4-1 this week, while Robert went 2-3. So now that brings it to 17-11 for me, and Rob 10-5.
I'm starting to be down by a lot.
Yeah,
I'm starting to be down by a lot over here. It's starting to add up. So
2
I gotta have some good
eggs
picks
coming
this
at
week.
you.
So yeah, otherwise things are gonna I can't keep going down. I got to at least tie or get better. So, there's gonna be some strategy this week with the picks.
Yeah, I already have my picks down, so there's no way it could be collusion. I set them down beforehand. I didn't want anything fishy to be involved, but why don't we just hop right into it? First game we got is Team Vlassi versus Team DeMarco Murray, and I actually, Alex doesn't have his roster set up fully, but Vlasi's projected to win, but I don't think that'll be happening. I'm going to go with Team DeMarco Murray. Not much to talk about here.
I'm going to go with Team DeMarco Murray as well. Team Vlassi. Maybe those rookie running backs do something, but yeah, I'm going with Team Vlassi. Moving on to our next game, we got Payne and the McManus versus Money Manziel. Payne and McManus had kind of a down week. I had a pretty good week last week. I think things are going to switch. I'm going to once again not pick myself. I'm going Payne and the McManus.
I'm with you right there as well. I got McManus, but your roster's not really full out. Maybe you can make another upset like I did this week. See what happens. Head into the next game after that. We got the Standard versus Rock Springs Football Club. It looks like I'm bored that Rock Springs Football Club is going to win this one pretty easily, and that's who I'm going to pick. I'm picking the Rock Springs Football Club.
I'm going to go with the Rock Springs Football Club as well. I just think the Standard has not been really going momentum in their way. Rock Springs Football Club had a down week and got a win, so go for Rock Springs Football Club. And then moving on to Team Ayers versus Team Squigs. I'm going to go with Team Squigs on this one. I think the losing streak continues for Team Ayers. Yeah.
Well, you're not going to believe me, but I also had Team Squigs on this one. I think Adrian's. Yep, I think Adrian's going in a little bit of a spiral right now. Maybe get some help with that trade he got, but I think has he gotten found out? People are asking these questions. We'll see if he's gotten found out.
He's the Kyler Murray of fantasy football.
People are asking.
COD did just come out. People are asking.
And he has already almost finished the campaign. He almost already finished the campaign the first weekend. Now, game of the week, which really wasn't the most game of the week, but I just looked at the spreads, and this one was the closest. Not too many like crazy playoff games, but the Danger Witch for Field of Dreams, and I went with Field of Dreams because every time I fade myself, I win. So I'm just going to go with that motto.
You're going to go with Field of Dreams? I'll pick you, Tyler, just so there's some kind of discrepancy here, just so we don't go 5 for 5. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pick you. So that's going to be the only difference. I don't know if anyone saw my strategy there, but I'm not trying to get blown out anymore. I don't want a whole carton of eggs thrown at me.
Well, nice wintertime, nice hard eggs.
So that's how I'm feeling as of now. That's at least my strategy going forward. We'll see how it goes this week. If it's not worth it, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, so I think that's about it for this week.
Just real quick, we're going to go over to the interview with Adrian. So thanks all for tuning in this long. Here's Adrian. It was a very good interview. Do you have any thoughts on the interview, Tom?
Yeah, no, it was really fun. Adrian's a very lively guy. You'll see in the interview.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's very close to the camera. Just a heads up, his face is very close. All right, here's Adrian.
All right, welcome back. Now with a special guest, a man we brought up multiple times the last couple of weeks, and we finally snagged him. Our good friend Adrian Arias. How you doing today?
Good. How about you guys?
Doing all right.
Doing well.
Doing all right.
Doing well.
So man, we talked about a lot, even though we have not had you on. Robert notoriously gave you a D- grade before the season, and he's really made you eat those words ever since.
No,
5-2 start.
I think
he's been on a roll.
Yeah.
We'll just ask you start with that every interview. So how'd you get to know Rob, and how'd you join the league?
So I met Robert in elementary school. Really became a lot closer in middle school, I'd say, when we both were just obsessed with sports, I'd say. In high school, that just kept going. College, that kept going. And we're still here, I got in the league because one day we were in Chicago, and Robert threw that idea at us, and I was like, absolutely. I've been wanting to do one for a while, but not with random people. So I'm glad he suggested that idea.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we usually ask what's people's favorite NFL team is, but for you, it's a little complicated. So why don't you go ahead and explain?
Yeah. My favorite team right now is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's subject to change at any time, of course. I follow where Brady goes. If Brady would have gotten that Miami GM job, probably be a Miami Dolphins fan. It is what it is. I just hope every guy out there has fun. Just go sports. Clean game. That's what I'm into.
All right.
Yeah, I can definitely tell watching sports with you. That's how you act, Rob.
Yeah. So let's just go through your team here a little bit. So you're sitting currently 5-2, best record in the entire league, top in your division, won the first 5 games of the season. So what was your draft strategy going in, and then just talk about some of your players that you picked and why you picked them.
Yeah. So my draft strategy was don't read anything prior to the draft, like any analytic reports or anything of like that. About 10 minutes before draft, I was eating dinner, and then I decided to go on my phone and look up how do you draft for a keeper league. And I just went in that order. There were some small positions that I adjusted, but yeah, most of this team is from that website that I found.
Shout out to that website.
Yeah, you ended up with some pretty good young receivers, and to pick Josh Allen really works out. That guy's pretty good at football. I think he's a big reason why you're sitting 5-2.
Yeah, I love my receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Smith, Pittman, still questionable. Verdict still on him. Sam Ehlinger is his quarterback now. We'll see how that goes. Jerry Jeudy, he's not been working out for me right now. Just doesn't fit my team. He just doesn't have that dog in him like my other guys do. Maybe on the trading block, Who knows these days,
So heard it here first, officially Jerry Jeudy on the block.
Jerry Jeudy is on the block. If your friend Jacob wants to get at me, I will trade him Judy, and a third rounder for Barkley.
Yeah,
I'll bite the bullet. I'll bite the bullet.
I'm sure he'll be jumping at that one.
Yeah.
A live trade. I like that.
Yeah.
Since we're speaking of trades, we had a trade between you two
Yes.
happen over this weekend. Some unfortunate news 24 hours later, but yeah, Adrian, what was your process thinking about going? Because I believe it was Michael Carter for who was it? George Pickens. Rob, you got Pickens. Adrian, you got Michael Carter.
Yeah.
So Adrian, how'd that go down?
That went down actually. Me and Robert have been wanting to trade players for a while now, but I noticed Robert was definitely watching that Sunday night game because that's when these trades were going down.
Yes.
And he bought the bullet on George Pickens, and he wanted him. He wanted, and I wanted Carter, and I was like, gonna need a little something back though. So he threw me a third rounder. I threw him a sixth rounder. Unfortunately, 24 hours later, as I'm leaving work, the Jets traded for James Robinson, unfortunately, which is not great in the long run for the rest of the season, but I think I'll get 2-3 weeks worth before he really loses that job. I did message the commissioner immediately to let him know. You know how Robert is as a commissioner, I guess. I heard about his previous
There's a
actions
reason
as
why Alex is
commissioner.
called Where's DeMarco Murray. So
Yes.
There's a whole story in that. We might do a whole special episode about that if we ever have the need to, about how I was corrupting the league. But there's been no corruption here so far. Adrian did message me asking if he could cancel the trade. I said it's been too long. We accepted the trade. I'm sorry. James Robinson's a Jet now. It's not much I can do about that. I'm just excited about having George Pickens because he's going to be the best receiver on the Steelers probably for the next 5 to 10 years unless he falls apart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the thing about that, Tyler, is Roberts did say you can't go back on your trade 24 hours later. It had been less than 24 hours is the interesting thing. He never responded to me after that. I didn't pursue that. I'm not going to win with this type of commissioner. With other commissioners, may have won that, but I'll let this one slide. He threw me a bone at the third round.
I'm willing to take the blame of you not winning the league. If you don't win the league, I'll take all of it.
Yeah.
You and Tom Brady just need to go against authorities to win it all. So I like it.
It's just how it is some days, Win how we win.
Yeah. So yeah, how do you feel confidence-wise heading into the final about 6 weeks and then going into the playoffs? You think you're gonna make it and think you're gonna make a push?
I think I'm gonna claw for that second place spot. Alex's team is much better than mine. He also has a few players on buys this week. Maybe he'll bump down to 500, but when I went into the season, I was really in let me plan this team out for a few years. So when I was at first 5-0, I was obviously really surprised. Being 5-2 now, I think I'll get to the playoffs, but it's going to be pretty close at the end. But yeah, there are teams that are much better than mine. Jacob's team is much better than mine. Theo's team has just gotten lucky. This team has no talent. They have Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper. Somehow he got 3 really good running backs. I don't know how none of us paid attention to that. He's lucky to be in the position he is. We have the same record. He did beat me barely last week. Yeah, I'll let him have that one. That's fine. You can win the games that really don't count at the beginning of the season. That's fine with me. I'll win where it counts when I need to win.
All right, I like it. Yeah, real Tom. You can tell you're a Tom Brady fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, any last thoughts?
No, I don't really have anything. I think 5-2, a playoff spot's a pretty good goal. I feel like that's well within your reach. The division isn't super competitive. You're kind of just dealing with Alex and I. We'll see where Tyler lands, where his team ends up. But yeah, I think you're in a pretty decent spot. Oh, we only got 10 minutes. I think you're
good.
in a pretty decent spot here, though. Yeah. I don't know if we got anything else, Tyler?
Yeah, Adrian, thanks for joining. Finally locked you down. Do you have any other trades you want to send out over this Zoom call?
Just suggestions, man. I've been looking at your scorecard, T, and your Chargers defense. They haven't been doing too well for you. I'd probably be looking at someone else at that spot.
Yeah, I'm definitely. They're also on a bye, I believe, this week. So yeah,
They might actually
they're
get you more points than they do some other weeks, considering
There's been multiple weeks where them being in a bye would help me more often than to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely gone. I was just hoping Khalil Mack would just be awesome, but
Yeah.
they're trash.
Yeah.
Whatever though. The push starts now. I'm going to make that second playoff spot.
Yeah. No, that is a realistic goal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got some solid young running backs, and then Aaron Jones, who is tradable, but now with the playoff spot, it might be a little more expensive. So
Yeah,
we'll
you
see
know.
how that goes.
Wishing just everyone luck here, you know. Unfortunately, Robert made it the 2 best teams in the division. I think it should be the 4 best overall. You know, maybe there's room for some improvement next year.
All right.
Maybe I'll have to get in the commissioner's ear.
Yeah, you know, yeah. If you want to just keep bringing that up, that's fine. But if you want my thought process behind it, I can give you my thought process and why I did it like that.
Sure, no, absolutely. I'd love to hear it.
I think it creates more rivalries within the division. So it's more important to win games against your own division because you make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
that was my thought process.
Oh. No, I don't hate it. I just don't love it. But I understand it.
I'm going to call it close here. Adrian, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And thank you guys for watching. Rob, any last words?
We'll do a recap right after this, so it's going to be another 5 seconds. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Okay,
Gotcha.
cool.
Awesome, cool. Thank you so much for tuning in this long. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Best roast gets $5. You got anything, Tyler?
No, just thanks for keep watching. It's been a lot of fun. Getting back onto the normal schedule. Just a wild weekend episode. Throw it in there, and we're gonna get every guest in the regular season because if we have one guest every regular season, we'll finish it out with the last regular season game. So gonna get a guest. So if you haven't been on yet, open up your schedules on Tuesday or Monday.
Yes, we'll interview you shortly if you have not gotten interviewed. Yep. Well, cool. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great week.